We have cryptocurrency influencers, cryptocurrency personalities, cryptocurrency professionals across this industry who are fighting with each other, who are calling each other names. In the meantime, there's new data coming out that the world is recognizing about the global debt, about the increases in the risk from the global financial system slowing down, and with the economy slowing down and the debt increasing, the IMF is warning that the world is not prepared for what is looking to be more and more likely to be this financial downturn, to say it lightly, to hit us. So all of that and more, let's discuss. Hey everybody, I'm Gary Palmer Jr., you're you, and together we are Minting Coins, your trusted source for crypto news, interviews, and what is happening inside the cryptocurrency and open blockchain space. Now, it's been a little bit since we made our last video. We have been very focused on building in the cryptocurrency industry, on making connections, on learning new information, and doing all sorts of amazing things that we just can't tell you about. But if you're interested in knowing more, then you should check us out on Patreon, or join our Discord group, or start engaging if that's something that you're interested in. We're definitely looking for help. We're definitely in very early stages of what's happening in this world, and it's just very, very clear for us that Bitcoin is the future, that blockchain is the future, and that this is just a matter of time before everything that we've been talking about really starts to take shape. It's going to shift a little bit. It's not going to be exactly what people are talking about. And there's a little bit of malleability in there with how the future is actually going to turn out. But, I personally, not financial advice, make your own decisions, do your own research. But personally, I am certain that, minus some sort of catastrophic attack with the internet going down, or just, a catastrophic bug inside the Bitcoin code, I am certain that Bitcoin is going to be the future of money. And I am certain that blockchain technology is going to exist in a very, very significant way moving forward, affecting every person, every organization, every living, non-living, autonomous, sentient, non-sentient, smart contract or creature in the entire planet. Anything that can reach the blockchain is going to be connecting with these blockchains. And with that, we have just been building, and we have been connecting with people. And what we're most interested in, as we've said before time and time again, is that we are interested in open source technology. We are interested in open blockchain technology. We are interested in communities, in networks. We are interested in the network effect of not just the value of these cryptocurrencies, not just the value of what the market cap is for Bitcoin or the cryptocurrency space overall, which right now is very small overall market cap compared to money around the world and all these other different forms of value. But what is happening is that moving forward, we are just in the belief that the open source technology, the network effect of all of these people, the processes, the intellectual property, all of this foundation, the knowledge that people are gaining, the programming skills and trading skills and economic theory that people are learning, the buying of the crypto hardware wallets, the going to the websites, all of this is valuable. All of this is building a base of value that cryptocurrency is taking advantage of, and all of this value is not reflected inside the total market cap of what's happening in the space. All of this value, you can't see it, but if you really were to try to measure it, it would be so much more than the tip of the iceberg that people can see with the current price of which is a lagging indicator, if you ask me, in terms of where we are now and wherever we are in the market. And so with that, it's really interesting for us that there's so much infighting about, Bitcoin and different cryptocurrencies. And that's been a difficult point for me, I could say, I guess, wanting to, just make sense of all of these different areas. And what makes sense to me is that Bitcoin BTC is going to be, in my opinion, the world reserve currency that everyone in the world is going to want to store their money in, store their value in, both long term, and they're probably going to want to send and receive payments in it or, a more efficient other currency. But for us, the value with Bitcoin is it's the largest. It's the one that has the greatest security. It's the one that's going to be the hardest to 51% attack to roll back. We just see Bitcoin as being what the world is going to turn to, what the world is going to trust, because Bitcoin is going to be the most decentralized, is going to remain being the most decentralized across multiple vector points of attack. But with that being said, I really also think that there's going to be these other blockchains that continue to exist. And some people call them altcoins, and some people call them, shit coins. And when I am looking at the space, some people say all altcoins are shit coins. And Ethereum, in my opinion, is just platform, a computer computational smart contract platform that has such a strong community, an amazing community of very smart, very talented people, as well as all of this investment into its infrastructure and its foundation. It's very hard to see, short term and even medium term, one of these blockchain technologies, which is pretty much decentralized all across, the world, for any of them to go away 100%, for any of them to, not have that momentum. There's just all this kinetic energy there that it's what we see happening is just Bitcoin being the largest in terms of a store of value, in terms of a currency, and then whatever the number two coin is, the number two coin, which is going to be used as a store of value in a currency, is going to be 50% the market cap. When this all pans out, then the number two currency will be 50% that of the number one currency. So am I a Bitcoin maximalist? Am I a Bitcoin, supremacist? Am I a Bitcoin extremist? In some ways, I feel that I'm each of those, but at the same time, there's a lot of respect that I have for a lot of these projects because of the teams and the communities and the scientific thought and research that's going into creating a more open source, more decentralized world. Even if some people may or may not be on the wrong path, they're still contributing, people are still working together. And the new systems that we are creating, by all of us working together, all of these people from all these different sides, me from the little bit that I can do, you from the little bit that you can do, everyone that everyone that they know, all of us coming together, each of us, contributing in terms of using the technology, in terms of joining the communities and giving our input, how things could be better or more efficient for us and for people in our community by actually working with teams that are going to drive to make these technologies more open source, more accessible, more user-friendly, more meaningful. If we can contribute to that hopefully the idea is at the end of this, what we build, this new financial system, this new economic model, this new foundation and infrastructure is going to be far stronger and far superior than the system that we have been living under of debt slavery for the past 100, 200 plus years. And so turning to today's news, going over a couple different topics of what's happening in the world. I suppose a lot of this is based off of these tweets here by Charlie Lee, a lot of the rants that I've been talking about. I'm sure you've been seeing going on in the crypto Twitter. This over here from Jameson, just talking about how originally we were just Bitcoiners. Then folks started creating competing networks, and then defensive Bitcoiners were dubbed maximalists. Now we have all of these different, crypto assets out there, and people like Charlie Lee in this tweet over here is trying to label the Bitcoin maximalist extremist. And it's just, instead of focusing on this dialogue, instead of focusing on really trying to destroy each other, which has value when it has value, I think that we really need to be focused on building this new system. We really need to be focused on what Bitcoin is and what these different projects are. And I mean, there's different ways of doing it, but let me tell you right now, there's 17.5 million Bitcoin. Like, that's what I'm seeing over here at bitinfocharts.com, 17.468 million Bitcoin. And when we look at the distribution of those Bitcoins all across the network, actual Bitcoin, not your Bitcoin, your Coinbase. I know this upsets a lot of people. And I was talking about this before the proof of keys. And now proof of keys has really, I think, opened a lot of people's eyes and understanding into maybe what a lot of people have been saying for a while now. If you have Bitcoin on Coinbase, then that's not actual Bitcoin. It's in a database that you don't control the private keys. Someone could take it away from you. And it's just not really a part of the system. You're not really using the technology. It's like you're still using monopoly money if your Bitcoin is being held on a wallet where you don't control your private keys. And so everyone in the world, I mean, this is just crazy to see how much Bitcoin is being held by all of these different these different ranges over here. So if you have between 1 and 10 Bitcoin, there's 1.5 million Bitcoins addresses that have that much. There's that much coin, and it's just there is not a lot of Bitcoin. And what's going to happen when there is an urgent demand? What's going to happen if and when one of the exchanges gets hacked, when one of the exchanges gets shut down by a government or for some reason? And for on one hand, people are trying to access their Bitcoin, and that's going to could that cause the price of Bitcoin to spike? And on the other hand, people are going to realize that there's so much less Bitcoin that's actually available than what people think. They're going to try to get that Bitcoin. That Bitcoin's not going to be available. That's going to cause the price to spike very, very quickly, because the majority of people that have Bitcoin, there are very few wallets. There's not a lot of Bitcoin out there is the bottom line. And if you have Bitcoin, it's important for you to understand how this technology works, how to secure your Bitcoin, how to get a Trezor, how to get open source technology that you can use, that you can understand, that you can work with other people to look at the source code, and not just trust a small group of people out there with your ability to maintain your sovereignty and your security in these times of extreme change. Because a lot of people are talking about a possible recession. A lot of people are talking about a financial collapse. A lot of people are talking about a stock market crash, just as bad or worse than the recession in 2008 before Bitcoin was created. Or some people are even predicting it's going to be just as bad or worse than the Great Depression in 1929. And everyone's talking about this, and we're approaching what's happening over here. This chart's a little outdated at this point, but we're in 2019 right now. We are very, very close to what's about to happen in less than 18 months. About, May 23rd, 2020. It's right around the corner. We are practically a year away from this next halving event. And right as we're a year away from this next halving event, we have the Financial Times, which is, informing us that the world is unprepared for even an economic slowdown, says the IMF. And so the IMF is warning people that the world's largest countries are dangerously unprepared for the consequences of a serious global slowdown. And these are senior executives at the International Monetary Fund. This is what they're warning. They're warning that it's going to be hard to use fiscal policy, monetary measures to offset the next recession, that the system of cross-border support mechanisms and central bank swap lines is completely undermined, mostly by their own doing, and that we are just completely unprepared, should anything happen. And, I don't know what the chances are, but, looking at the data, looking at Wall Street and seeing everyone scramble, I'm not getting a good sign of hope. Everything that's happening with the trades, with the politics, with Trump, politics aside, things are not looking good for the economy. Things aren't looking good for the people in the economic situations in Europe. They're not looking for the economic situations in America. It's not looking good for the economic situations in a lot of places. But where it looks worse, where it looks really, really bad, are from the countries that are the biggest. The countries like America, the countries like China. And this is just a huge concern. We have Larry Kudlow, the White House economic advisor, telling everyone that there's no recession in sight. This is the exact same thing he said in 2007. This is the same thing he said in early 2008. And now he's just saying it again. And this is the warning shot that while everyone is fighting, while we realize there's less and less Bitcoin available, the IMF is sounding the alarms. And previous from this news, which, had just come out, we have this data that came out earlier this week, new data from the IMF on global debt. And what we see is that, the global debt numbers have skyrocketed. And we all know this, right? We all know this. We've known this for a long time. Everyone has known this, right? I mean, you would have to be willfully ignorant. You'd have to either completely not care because, you don't care about finances and just anything like politics and stuff like that. Or if you're involved in finance and politics and you're not paying attention, if you didn't know that the debt has been out of control, then you have just ignored all the information that has been all around us because, this has happened to Japan. It's happening to the United States. It's happening in China. Global debt reaching all-time highs, significantly more than what has happened in 2008. And the most indebted countries in the world are the richest ones. Again, the United States, China, Japan, accounting for more than half of the global debt, exceeding their share of global output. I mean, we are just using more debt than, would ever realistically make sense if you could possibly visually measure what we're producing versus how much debt we're taking on versus what the interest on that debt is. Forget about military spending, forget about health care. The debt is just, breathtaking. So the global debt, on the other hand, is actually not as bad. The public debt has gone up, but really it's the emerging and low-income developing countries that just have these better ratios. And along and short of this situation is that advanced economies are in a really bad situation. Emerging markets aren't doing as bad. And the low-income developing countries, in some cases, reached levels close to those seen when those countries sought debt relief. And here's a visual graphic to help give you an idea of where we're at. What do you think this is right in the middle? This big light blue, sky blue, baby blue circle here. This is the United States. Huge amount of debt. Leading in front of it, Japan. Trailing it, Germany. United Kingdom over here, France over here, Canada over here, Switzerland, Spain. This doesn't look good. Who's doing great? The Taiwan province of China. And then down here with the emerging markets, this is China. So look how much debt China has. Look how much debt the United States has. Look how much debt Japan has. Then you have all of these emerging markets which just have, they have debt, but they just have far, less debt than, and on average, than the advanced economies, than we do, than people in the United States do. And this is just a very concerning situation, you know, the history of debt, seeing how much debt has been entering the world between 1950 and, you know, today, 2016. And we can see like in red here, this is the amount of debt in the whole world. And this is just a significant amount of debt. And this is going to be crushing down on people. So to refresh your memory, here was an article from a few months ago. The IMF was issuing a stark warning over Bitcoin and crypto's rapid growth. The IMF is recognizing that blockchain technology allows people an escape. It allows people a way to have an alternative to store their value, long-term, short-term, in a way that is permissionless, borderless, open source, you know, this immutable ledger that anybody with a little bit of knowledge can access and can be a part of. And we think Bitcoin is paving the way. We think Bitcoin just has an incredible community. We think Bitcoin is, you know, creating the least path of resistance. And one of the ways they're creating the smallest path of resistance is with the Lightning Network. And what's happening with all of these nodes out there, and what's happening with all these people who are able to make these instant transactions that are verifiable and you know, more private and more efficient using Bitcoin on-chain. And this is something that we've been experimenting with, and this is something that we've been having a lot of fun with. And this is something that we encourage you to start experimenting with as well. So to wrap things up, if you want to check us out, if you want to learn more about minting coins and what we're doing, you can check us out at bitcoinnys.com. This is Bitcoin NYS. This is our crypto loft in Rochester, New York, where we have all sorts of free meetups and classes for people to check out, for people to learn about, for people to hang out with us and learn about Bitcoin and blockchain technology. We also have our Patreon over here at patreon.com/mintingcoins. That is, you know, something that we're probably going to be looking to get away from. Not that we have a very large following on Patreon right now. You know, any little bit helps. If you did want to help us, if you did want to try to support us at all, we really appreciate everything you guys do. We appreciate the likes, we appreciate the follows, and we appreciate the comments. We read every single comment out there, and we really, you know, enjoy sharing this information and just giving you our opinion and our take on what we see going on with the cryptocurrency space overall. So that's all we have for you today. If you're this far in the video, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell icon notification. We appreciate everything you guys do, even watching these videos, liking these videos. We read every single comment that you guys leave on the videos, and we block every single person that, you know, leaves any sort of spam or spam link or leaves their email address, you know, in any sort of spammy looking way. So we, you know, love it when you comment. We can't wait till we're big enough that, you know, we have to limit how much, you know, time we put into commenting, because there'd be so many comments. But until that time, we're just, you know, doing what we're doing for the few people out there that are looking for this information right now, for the people in the future who maybe want to look back on this information. And we're just, you know, really excited about everything that's going to be happening moving forward. We are extremely bullish about Bitcoin and a few other currencies moving forward, even though if those currencies pop, we'll definitely be taking the profits from those currencies and selling them for more Bitcoin. But we definitely think there's a lot of excitement in the space. So thanks for sticking around. Until next time, I'm glad that together we are minting coins.